Hi, I'm Sara-Jane.
And I'm Safiya-Mae. Welcome to BTMTalks.
What are you like with tour pranks? And have you ever had a prank played on you, or have you ever played a prank?
Yes. So what we like to do, and I'm pretty sure you know this, is the last show of every tour. I don't know if you've done this before, but yeah, that's prank show all day long. I'll tell you we were with Keyshia Cole, and it was a Keyshia Cole Chrisette Michele tour, and we really got Chrisette Michele really good. Like, I was on the stage with an ironing board, ironing during the middle of her set, and they were like, like it was absolutely insane. And she was looking back like, what is going on? But yeah, and I think that, I don't know if her team was a little bit afraid of Keyshia, so they didn't really do it on Keyshia's set, because it's supposed to be like a back and forth. But yeah, that's kind of like the only prank that like we actually did. And then other times it's more like just on the road and on tour, we're like doing certain things, plastic BB guns, or, going into Walmart, Wally World, just having a good time, like doing different things. So,
What is your essential toolkit? Like, what do you keep on you at all times while you're on the road, or at least doing a show?
So the only thing that I really have is,
Especially with women.
Yeah. So for me, it's I like to keep like a road case. So for different artists, I'll have, essentials of what they always want. You know what I mean? So based on their rider, like if it's something hard to get, I'll make sure I always have throat coat tea. I'll make sure I always have honey, especially the Manuka honey. Like anything that's really hard to find, I'll make sure that I keep that. Except for each individual artist, and particular artist that I'm working with. More so for me personally, as long as I have my laptop, my cell phone, some really good internet, I'm fine. But other than that, yeah, it's really, depends on which artist that I'm working with. So I got to make sure that I have their particular stuff, and have their particular, connections in each city that we go to make sure, everything is in order.
And have you ever had, like, what's the craziest thing you've ever had to put on a rider? Or you've been asked for?
The craziest thing that I ever had to put on a rider, so that would probably be something that's hard to get. I don't know if this is crazy for people, but I thought it was crazy when I had to put it on a rider, but it was a bottle of Louis XIII. Guys, yeah, I want this. This is what I want. And I was like, okay, you'll probably never get it, but I'll put it on.
In case anyone at home doesn't know, a rider is like what you basically get in the dressing room for anyone if they don't know at home. But like, you normally ask for, I like this drink, I like these snacks. But I have heard of some people being asked for some crazy stuff. So I just wondered.
13th is going to be at least $14,000. So
yeah, that's crazy. And no, I've never had the blue M&M request. I've never had crazy, but I think that was, and this artist right here, I mean, obviously had, really good taste. So, when they were building it out, they asked for the bottle, and, I'm pretty sure there are artists that will get that, but I just think at the level that this artist was on, like, you're not getting that. Yeah.
And a cheeky question. So what have you put on a rider for yourself that you knew was really just for you?
Yeah, so I like to collect tequilas, and I typically have it actually right here. I typically put this on a rider. Nice little Place Azul, or a Don Julio 1942. So I just bring that home, and just, whenever we have parties, we just have margarita night, and it's already ready there. So I rarely drink on the road. I rarely party because it's always working. But I love to see my artists and everyone else having a great time on tour.
So what do you do to stay kind of healthy and fit on the road? Because as everyone knows, obviously their day sheets, the artist, the band, the crew. I mean, the crew, not so much, but they run on a very different schedule to you. So when everyone else is sleeping, I'm sure you're very much awake. So how are you pushing through kind of 3 to 5 days at a time?
That is a great question. And to answer that question is health is so important. And I have not exercised that at all touring, because it's always something to do. And the only time that I get to myself is when I'm sleeping, and that may be like 3 or 4 hours. But now since COVID is hitting, I'm home, things are a lot different. You know what I mean? I'm definitely like focusing more on, eating healthy, exercising, riding my bike, running around the neighborhood, just doing whatever I can to stay a lot more active. So this is a lifestyle I intend to take into, when things open back up. But, another reason why I think things happen for a reason, like I've never been sick. I did have back surgery maybe a few years ago. But other than that, like I've never had any real major health problems, thank God. So, but now that, things are really crazy out here, we want to be able to kind of make sure that our health is of utmost importance.
You have a little one, so I bet that's keeping you on your toes.
A little one, and one on the way. Another one coming in December.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. It is COVID, baby. Yes. It's going down. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think there's going to be a lot of COVID babies, to be fair.
That whole generation.
Yeah, my one's going to Delta though, so I haven't.
Oh, darn it. But the next one, don't worry, the next one, you're all good.
So I have a twofold question. So what is the best advice you've been given in the industry? And what is the best advice you think you've given to someone else?
I mean, so much great advice, because I'm always asking people's opinions. But I think one of the things that I've always taken with me is, and it's really more artist related, is it's really important to trust the artist's gut, especially when it comes to the whole creative mood and energy. Like that stuff is really real. And, that's why we have so much creativity and the type of records and music that we love in the world. So, when an artist says something, it's like, even though you may have the right answer, you really have to listen and tune in with them, because what frequency they're on at the moment, like I can't tell you how many times, I've been on the road and the artist will be like, all right, well, what time is the bus leaving? I'm like, the bus? We're not taking a bus, we're taking a plane. And then we get to the airport and the flight's delayed. And it's like, dang, see, we should have taken the bus. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, even though that's super far off, but maybe you kind of understand what I'm saying. Like an artist will say something and it's really important to kind of hone in onto where they are and not really kind of push their ideas and thoughts to the side just because you think you may have a better answer, because they will be tuned into something completely different than what you're on. So to kind of understand that, it takes a little bit of time to navigate it, and it's kind of that moment to where you kind of understand, like you will know it's something to click. You say, okay, I may need to pivot and adjust this for this particular time because of what I'm just now hearing. So just being tuned in. I got some really good advice from Lonnie Ferguson on that. He's the person that brought me into tour management. And then I think one of the best advices that I've given to someone is when an artist is. Don't worry about how much money an artist spends, because it's not your money. If they want to blow money, then let them. Don't ever tell an artist you're trying to save them money, because they don't care. They just really want what they want. So it's, even though the business manager or management may look at you like you're crazy, ultimately, you want to do it in a very, you want to do it in a safe way to where you're protected, but ultimately, like, the best thing to do is give an artist what they want within reason, to be able to keep the day going and to keep them kind of in their creative and active moment that they're in.
Good advice.
Very good advice. And what's the kind of biggest tour that you've done in terms of personnel? How many people have you shipped around the world?
You know, I think the most personnel that I've dealt with personally on a tour is maybe 20 people, 22 people. And I've been on bigger tours with bigger artists, and we were probably like um, the support act or the co-headline, but maybe not, super headliner. But yeah, maybe 20, 25 people, and I was with Keyshia Cole because she travels, hair, makeup, security, accountants, band, 4 or 5 pieces, lighting and sound. So it's just so many bodies to kind of move and manage at once.
Yeah. I mean, and I know, I can only speak for myself, but I find when I'm traveling alone, obviously I pay attention, otherwise I would never get anywhere. But there's something about that comfort when you have a tour manager that you seem to take your common sense, put it in your pocket and zip it up. And suddenly I'm like, just tell me where to go. And I know musicians are so easily like, oh, I'm just gonna look in duty free. It must be like herding cats. I mean, I can't imagine being responsible. I can't imagine being responsible, but I know that it's like, I feel like sometimes we should have a buddying system, because it's trying to make sure everybody is on a flight it must be like one of the most stressful things. Like, I'm sure you can't relax on a flight until everybody has made it on.
Well, that's a great point you brought up, and luckily for me, you get a couple of knuckleheads, but people like we kind of lay out the rules at the beginning. Like, we don't really put up with that at all. Everybody's professional. The lobby call time. If the bus leaves you, I don't care. You just figure it out. Just make it to the next city. And yeah, I'll get that phone call. Trey, y'all left me, man. What's going, bro? Uber, $200. Just catch an Uber. Yeah. Try to meet the bus. If you don't leave your, once the bus stops at a stop, and you don't leave your laminate, let anyone know that you got off the bus. Because if I'm asleep, I'm asleep. You get stuck at a gas station, like, figure it out, man. Like, just make it to the show. And then once that happens, one time, okay, everybody gets a pass. No one's perfect. But if it's like, continuous, then, we have to figure and make an adjustment and find somebody else. But yeah, like, luckily I've never really had that problem. And if it does happen, we fix it. And the artist never knows, management never knows. It's just like, okay, it got worked out. Like, it's so easy. So in my mind, it's like, dang, I just pulled off a miracle, but thankless job. You know what I mean? I guess what you're supposed to.
I think that's the thing. I think part of your job is how great you guys are at actually, sometimes some really crazy stuff or some really serious stuff is happening. Mm-hmm. And you keep that from an artist, the show goes on. Mm-hmm. And I think that in itself is a skill, because a lot of the time, you're face to face with the artist being asked questions about things, and I know you probably don't want to outright lie, but I know that you probably have to find ways around making a situation not seem as bad as it, as you're probably freaking out inside. So I think, yeah, how you do that, sometimes I'm like, oh, that must be hard.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're like, I'm never the one to throw anybody under the bus because this is such a tight knit group of people. I'm going to see you again. You're going to see me again. We're going to cross paths. So yeah, I'm never the type to throw anyone under the bus in front of management or artists. I just feel like, a lot of times it'll just happen. Like, you'll just do it to yourself. You know what I mean? And it's only so much I can do. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're absolutely right. So it can be challenging, but I love it. Like, literally, like, just thinking about it, it's, as much as I miss it, I guess when you have a gift, and I thank God for the gift, I'm saying, to be able to do that and to be able to do something you love that's different every single day, and you're doing that and putting on shows for people and just seeing the reaction to fans, and the show just goes off and it's great. Like, that is such a great accomplishment and a feeling to have.
Amazing. Drè, thank you so much for joining us. It's been insightful. And
over. What?
I mean, we can keep going. Let's go.
I mean, carry on.
I was going. Well, another question. So, for someone who's listening to this, who is maybe has a cousin, a brother, a sibling, or someone who is incredibly talented, who is thinking, right, I'm inspired. Drè Davis has inspired me. I think I could do this. What is the introduction to being you like? What does it look like for 17-year-old John from Decatur?
If it's John from Decatur, especially if it's Decatur where it's greater, John knows someone in Decatur who's an amazing artist, rapper, singer, that's on the come up. John should go to that person and say, hey, I don't know a lot about tour management or road management, but you're starting off, I'm starting off. Let's help each other. I'll help you in this field to try to, get your career moving to the next level. Not to say we're going to be together forever, but this could just be a start. I can learn something, you can learn something, and just go from there. At this moment in time, it's going to be a lot difficult because there are no shows happening except these like drive-in shows, which are really successful in Atlanta right now. And, there are a couple of promising things in that world that may, be kind of cool. But that's what I would do. And had someone told me that, I probably would have taken the same advice of just trying to find a team or find an artist that is, just starting out, because, you're just starting out. So if you want to just start at that position, that's what I would do. Or reach out to different tour management companies such as myself or other tour managers that and just say, hey, can I just, follow you, spot you, whenever you come to Atlanta or come to a city, where you're located, and just follow them or shout at them for the day. And if that's a little bit impossible, go to different venues in your city and just say, hey, do you mind if I, do you guys need an intern for the day? I'll run and do whatever you need me to do. And at that time, you just take in the information that you see and soak it up, and then just meet different artists that are on the road, different tour managers, road managers, and just, be that person who's overly, helpful and, ready to do anything at the drop of a hat, because that's the type of intensity and the type of people, that we want in this business, people who will do anything, to make it happen.
Yeah. And I think what we've talked about with some of our previous guests is just that how, for example, Nayana Holly was telling us that she never thought that being a background singer could be so lucrative. Like, you could have a genuine career not being the main artist, still doing exactly the same things as this main artist. You travel the world, you do all these award shows, you perform in front of thousands of people around the world, but you still have the comfort of still being you. So as a tour manager, financially, is this a career that you would recommend to people? Is it something that you would say you could have a lucrative career being tour personnel or an events producer? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I do. And it kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier, is that I really would just love to have that one artist, you know what I mean? To work. You know what? I can focus on you. You can pay me this salary, and it's just me and you, and I got you. But for me to be able to kind of, do what I need to do with my life and support my family, I have to work with multiple artists. And then, this has afforded me also the ability to book shows as well. So that's another, kind of business model that we came up with, to actually book shows for artists. So Dylan, not really like hard ticket main shows, but, club hostings or,
right.
Different, smaller promoters who are doing events and they need artists. We can, make that happen for them as well. So that's a very lucrative, part of it, because, not only am I booking a show for you, but I'm also working it. So that's, a couple of different checks as well. The after party, this YouTube, Instagram social media influencer campaigns are very lucrative, you know. It's just percentages on percentages that you're taking from certain things that you're able to book or, you know, see to fruition. So yeah, I would definitely suggest it. It's a lot of work, but I mean, what job is it? You know what I mean? Like if you're really good at it and you know the right people and you know how to make things happen, you can communicate effectively and, you know, you understand your contracts and, you know, how all that works, and your artist is comfortable and they get paid, you're winning. You know?
Well, speaking of the right people, how do people find you? How can we find you online?
You can find me at bluealleitouring.com. That's blue like it's spelled out, Alley, Alley, touring.com. Find me on Instagram at Blue Alley Touring or at Drè Davis.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Drè. We are going to let you go. We can have an after party afterwards, offline. But I am Safiya-Mae Lewis.
I'm Sara-Jane Skeet.
And you have been listening to the BTMTalks podcast, Behind the Music. Stay tuned, stay safe, and we'll be back with some other interesting guests from the world of entertainment behind the scenes. Take care. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's talk.